And you know, there's a lot more to read if you want to read it, but I'm not going to read all of that. So let's look at the buildings. Let us look at the buildings, and there's a lot of those for us to look at as well. Florence, San Giovanni district. So this is like the center where the Duomo is. San Giovanni was named after Saint John the Baptist, the patron saint of Florence. It is the oldest area of the city and the center of administration, encompassing the Palazzo della Signoria. If big churches are your thing, head to Santa Maria del Fiore on the northern edge. It's the one with the gigantic dome. Yes. So that's not really all that important. Ponte Vecchio, so that's the bridge. This famous bridge spans the Arno at its narrowest point. The original version was presumably constructed by the Romans, Etruscans. It was built by the Etruscans. But the first written records only appear in 996. Two previous incarnations of the bridge were swept away in floods before the present structure was built in 1345. A tower was built at the southeast corner to defend it. The bridge consists of 3 segmented arches. It has always had shops lining the central passageway, a feature which seems extraordinary now but was common during the Renaissance. At first butchers took up residence there, but over time they were pushed out by jewelers, souvenir shops, and creepy teenagers chaining locks to bridges, railings, and throwing the keys in the river in a bid for eternal love. That's not until more recently. Not realizing that the locks would be cut off later that day by disgruntled polizia. Everlasting indeed. Right, so that's the Ponte Vecchio. Let's go look it up in Wikipedia, because that's important. Ponte Vecchio. Okay, I got it right. Ponte Vecchio, there we go. And let's walk over there, if I can find it. It's to the south, isn't it? That's where the river is. So let's go to the bridge before we read about it. And it should be just a little bit in this direction. Maybe. And the good thing is, once you find Ponte Vecchio, the Palazzo della Signoria is pretty close. This looks like a main street, doesn't it? There we go, there's Ponte Vecchio there. Actually, where is... Oh, wait. Where's the... I'm pretty sure the Uffizi is supposed to join on to Ponte Vecchio. And then the Palazzo della Signoria is on the other end of the Uffizi. Although the Uffizi might not be built yet. Hold on, where are we? This is the Ponte Vecchio, right? Can we climb up a little bit? Oh, there it is there. There's the, Or maybe, no, maybe I remembered it wrong. Yeah, I must have remembered it wrong. Yeah, it's not quite as close as that. But anyway, so there it is there. That's the, Palazzo della Signoria. And this is Ponte Vecchio. What is here? So this is like a fish shop, and then there's like a butcher here. Well, that's cool. They've got this part historically accurate. So there's bread. That's a massive loaf of bread. Look at that thing. How big is your bread? Not as big as that bread, is it? So here's the bridge, and so more butchers and food shops. So there we go. And that's the Arno down there, and that's a bridge being built apparently. And that's my ugly face. Alright. So Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge, is a medieval stone closed spandrel segmented arch bridge over the Arno River in Florence, Italy. Noted for still having shops built along it, as was once common. Butchers initially occupied the shops. The present tenants are jewelers, art dealers, and souvenir sellers. The Ponte Vecchio's 2 neighbouring bridges are the Ponte Sella Trinita and Ponte alle Grazie. History and construction. The bridge spans the Arno at its narrowest point, where it's believed that a bridge was first built in Roman times, when the Via Cassia crossed the river at this point. The piers were of stone, the superstructure of wood. The bridge first appears in a document of 996. After being destroyed by a flood in 1117, it was reconstructed in stone but swept away again in 1333, save two of its central piers, as noted by Giovanni Villani in his Nova Chronica. It was rebuilt in 1345. Giorgio Vasari recorded the tradition in his day that attributed its design to Taddeo Gaddi. Besides, Giotto, one of the few artistic names of the Trecento, still record 200 years later. That's the 13th century or the 14th century or something. Modern historian present Neri di Fioravanti as a possible candidate. Why? I mean, Vasari already told you that the other guy designed it. Historians, man. Anyway, they're probably right. Sheltered in a little loggia at the central opening of the bridge is a weathered dedication stone which once read Ne Trentate dopo il 1300 il ponte cade per diluvio del acque por 10 anni come el como piacque rifatto fu con questo adornamento. I have no idea what that means. Nobody translated that? The Torre del Menelli was built at the southeast corner of the bridge to defend it. The bridge consists of three segmented arches. The main arch has a span of 30 meters and the two side arches span of 27 meters. The rise of the arches is between 3.5 and 4.4 meters, and the span to rise ratio is 5:1. Okay. It has always hosted shops and merchants who displayed their goods on tables before their premises. After authorization of the Bargello, a sort of Lord Mayor, a magistrate, and police authority, the back shops, Retroborghetti, Botteghi, that may be seen from upriver were added in the 17th century. It is said that the economic concept of bankruptcy originated here when a merchant could not pay his debts. The table on which he sold his wares, the banco, was physically broken, rotto, by soldiers. Wow. And this practice was called bankrotto, broken table. Possibly it can come from bancarotta, which means broken bank. Not having a table anymore, the merchant was not able to sell anything. That's pretty harsh. During World War II, the Ponte Vecchio was not destroyed by Germans during the retreat of August 4, 1944. Unlike all other bridges in Florence, this was allegedly, according to many locals and tour guides, because of an express order by Hitler. Access to Ponte Vecchio was, however, obstructed by the destruction of the buildings at both ends, which have since been rebuilt using a combination of original and modern design. Vasari's corridor. In order to connect Palazzo Vecchio, Florence's town hall, with Palazzo Pitti, in 1565 Cosimo I de' Medici had Giorgio Vasari build the Vasari corridor above it. To reinforce the prestige of the bridge, in 1593 the Medici Grand Dukes prohibited butchers from selling there. Their place was immediately taken by several gold merchants. The Cooperative Association of Butchers had monopolized the shops on the bridge since 1442. A stone with an inscription from Dante records the spot at the entrance to the bridge where Buondelmonte del Buondelmonti was murdered on behalf of the Amidei in 1215, initiating the urban fighting of the Guelphs and the Ghibellines. Okay, so the butch. This is gonna just throw in these random facts. I don't know how useful it is when it's presented like this. Apparently, the butchers monopolized the shop space on the bridge for a while, and then the Medicis kicked them out. Now, recent history. Along the Ponte Vecchio there can be seen many padlock affixed to various places, especially to the railings around the statue of Benevento Cellini. This is a recent tradition for the Ponte Vecchio, although it has been practiced in Russia and in Asia before. It was perhaps introduced by the padlock shop owner at the end of the bridge. Okay, this is speculation. This shouldn't be in Wikipedia. Come on, guys. It is popularly connected to idea of love and love. It's not even proper grammar. Come on. Okay, whoever put this here needs to clean this crap up. Or somebody needs to clean this. Come on, this is... It's a €160 penalty for those caught locking something to the fence. Wow, €160 penalty. Mass tourism. Thousands of padlocks need to be removed frequently, spoiling or damaging the structure of centuries or bridge. Alright, well that's okay. But stop doing it, guys. Don't do it if you're there. So there's the Wikipedia article of the thing. I don't really have much else to add, so I guess we can just move on to the next building. Florence, Santa Trinita. Where is this? Let me just read this. Constructed over an existing church in 1258, Santa Trinita, the Holy Trinity, is known for its Sassetti Chapel, which is decorated with frescoes of the life of St. Francis by Domenico Ghirlandaio, a painter most famous for his brief role as one of Michelangelo's teachers. Santa Trinita was the mother church of the Vallombrosan order of monks, a very serious group that strictly enforced both poverty and silence for life. That's pretty serious. Despite the beauty of the Santa Trinita frescoes, very few Vallombrosan monks are likely to have seen them, on account of the fact that the monks received beatings for going outside their monasteries. That's pretty serious. So where is Santa Trinita? Let's try and find this in Wikipedia or Google. Santa Trinita? Florence? There's a map here, let's see. Palazzo Vecchio, is that the... Oh crap, don't go to that page. Is that the Ponte Vecchio is there? Okay, so it's up one bridge and around the corner a little bit. Let me just try and find it. So if we come this way...
God, help me! What is the meaning of... Consider this. I just have
So up one bridge, which is... well, that's not built yet. And then around the corner a little bit? Oh, wait, here. No, don't go up the wall. Go up the stairs. Wait a minute, aren't I wearing the Medici cape? Hold on. Inventory... outfits... Medici cape... Alright. Here it is. So, Santa Trinita should be this one? Let's just go to the front of it and see... It looks like it. It looks, I think. Yeah, there we go, there it is. Cool. Alright. So, Wikipedia says... there it is there. Okay, let me just check... there should be curved bits along the side, but maybe that's added later on. See the curved bits there? Santa Trinita, Holy Trinity, is a church in central Florence, Italy. It is the mother church of the Vallombrosan order of monks founded in 1092 by a Florentine nobleman. Nearby is the Ponte Santa Trinita over the river Arno. The church is famous for its Sassetti Chapel, containing notable frescoes by Domenico... This is just almost word for word from this article in-game. Ranked amongst 15th century paintings masterworks, and the Bartolini Salimbeni Chapel with frescoes by Lorenzo Monaco. Even though the Italian word for Trinity is Trinità, with an accent indicating stress on the last vowel, Trinita. The Florentine pronunciation puts the stress on the first vowel, and the name is therefore written without an accent. Sometimes it is accented as Trinita to indicate the unusual pronunciation. Santa Trinita. Okay, that's the Florentine dialect. History. The current church was constructed in 1258 to 1280 over a pre-existing 18th century church. Multiple reconstructions occurred thereafter. The Mannerist facade. Oh, I see. So the facade is built in 1593 to 1594. Was designed by Bernardo Bontinati. The relief over the central door of the Trinity was sculpted by Pietro Bernini and Giovanni Battista Caccini. The 17th century wooden doors were carved to record saints of the Villambrosan order. The column of justice in the piazza outside originates from the baths of Caracalla, or Caracalla, and was a gift to Cosimo I de' Medici by Pope Pius IV. It was used in 1565 to commemorate the Battle of Montemurlo. The Santa Trinita Maestra by Cimabue, how do you pronounce that? Was once at the high altar of the church and was later moved to a side chapel. It is now exhibited at the Uffizi. Okay. So that's a bunch of chapels. Apparently there's a lot of chapels in there. And there's not much else to say. Alright, well there's a church. I don't know if there's too much else for us to say about it neither. We can't go inside it. Alright, let's move on. Locations, Florence, Palazzo Auditore. I don't know if this is historically accurate. Completed in 1473, the Palazzo Auditore is notable for its rusticated stonework and Roman pilasters. Giovanni Auditore designed the palazzo himself based on initial sketches by Leon Battista Alberti. Once built, the palazzo became a fixture of the Santa Maria Novella district. Lorenzo de' Medici mentioned in a letter addressed to Giovanni, dated 1474, that he admired the facade's lack of ostentation. I don't know if that's actually real. Palazzo Auditore real. Yeah, I don't. No, this is not real. Yeah, so all the references are Assassin's Creed. So the Auditore family is I think it's a minor. They were a minor family in real life, but you know they weren't historically significant. These people, most of the other people are, but the Auditore family is actually not. Actually, is this it? Assassin's Creed. What is that from? Three-pipe problem. No, that's not right. Yeah, so that's not. We're not gonna find that in real life. Database locations. Florence. Giotto's Campanile. I think we've looked at this already, along with the Duomo. Begun by Giotto di Bondone, the famous architect and painter, in 1334. This famous Gothic bell tower was incomplete when Giotto died. Andrea Pisano took over, and then in 1348 was felled by the Black Death. In 1359 the tower was completed by Francesco Talenti, who deviated from Giotto's plan in his design of the upper three floors. He enlarged each floor to match the previous according to perspective, so when seen from below all three floors seem to be exactly the same size. So the top three floors extend like they're taller than the lower ones. The tower is clad with white marble from Carrara, red marble from Siena, and green marble from Prato. It takes exactly 414 steps to reach the top, perhaps predicting Charles Messier's discovery of the Whirlpool galaxy exactly 414 years later. Or perhaps not. No! No, not. Why are you wasting our time with junk like that? I'm not gonna... I'm pretty sure we looked at that in the... when we looked at the Duomo, so we're not gonna go through that again. That's the campanile next to the Duomo. The Santa Maria del Fiore, which we've looked at. So, Leonardo's house in Florence. This is again something that's only in the game, I believe. Leonardo da Vinci opened his own studio after completing his apprenticeship to Verrocchio, one of the most successful Florentine artists of the day. Between 1476 and 1481, Leonardo probably continued to collaborate with Verrocchio, although no one is quite sure what he was working on. In 1481, he was given his first commission by the monks of San Donato e Scopeto to paint the Adoration of the Magi. In true Da Vinci style, he began the painting but never finished it. He does that. Pretty sure that's not in the game neither. I mean, not in real life neither. Leonardo's house or studio? Florence? Leonardo da Vinci's workshop? Found? Not his workshop? Apparently they don't know. The researchers find possible Da Vinci workshop, so they don't actually know. Yeah, so this is not historically accurate neither. They don't actually know where he worked when he was in Florence. Alright, so next up is the Loggia de' Lanzi. So this thing, built between 1376 and 1382 by Benci di Chione and Simone di Francesco Talente. The Loggia dei Lanzi was created to provide a covering for the swearing in of the members of the Signoria, the rulers of Florence. In the 16th century, the Medici had a private balcony constructed on top, making it clear to the city of Florence who was really in charge. Okay. So let's look that up. Loggia dei Lanzi. So here it is in real life. Interestingly, it's less bulky in real life than it is in the game. You guys see that? Oh crap, I just... go back. Yeah, look, it's thinner in real life than it is in the game. Let's run over there though.
Don't be shy.
So it should be back this way, across two bridges, or along two bridges. Unless I got this completely wrong. So Ponte Vecchio. Oh wait, no. This is the Duomo. We need to go to the Ponte Vecchio. Wrong way, guys. Wrong way. I think it's this way. Ah, here it is. Ah, so there's a statue. There's the Palazzo del Signoria. Yes, I remember the name. There's the loggia there. So today you'll find some very interesting sculptures on these pedestals, but they're not in the game. And indeed, they would not have been constructed or carved at this point in time because they're done later on. So there's the loggia there. Apparently a lot of ceremonies took place there. Okay, so let's see what Wikipedia has to say. The Loggia dei Lanzi, also called the Loggia della Signoria, is a building on a corner of the Piazza della Signoria in Florence, Italy, adjoining the Uffizi Gallery. It consists of wide arches open to the street. The arches rest on clustered pilasters with Corinthian capitals. The wide arches appealed so much to the Florentines that Michelangelo even proposed that they should be continued all around the Piazza della Signoria. Okay, apparently people really like this. Sometimes erroneously referred to as Loggia del Orcagna because it was once thought to be designed by that artist. It was built between 1376 and 1382 by Benci di Cione and Simone di Francesco Telenti, possibly following a design by Jacopo di Cione, to house the assemblies of the people and hold public ceremonies, such as the swearing into office of the gonfaloniers, and the priors. Simone Telente is well known. Is it Simone or Simone? Is it a guy or a girl? Simone Telente is also well known from his Simone, from his contributions to the churches of San Michele and San Carlo. The vivacious construction of the loggia is in stark just touched the mic. The vivacious construction of the loggia is in stark contrast with the severe architecture of the Palazzo Vecchio. It is effectively an open-air sculpture gallery of antique and Renaissance art. The name Loggia de Lanzi dates back to the reign of Grand Duke Cosimo I, when it was used to house his formidable Landsknechts, in Italian Lancischenecchi, corrupted the Lanzi, or German mercenary pikemen. After the construction of the Uffizi at the rear of the loggia's roof was modified by Bernardo Buontalenti and became a terrace from which the Medici princes could watch ceremonies in the piazza. Interesting. Ooh, 360 view from inside. Cool. On the facade of the loggia below the parapet wow, that's like a detailed description of the thing. Trefoils with allegorical figures of the four cardinal virtues: fortitude, temperance, justice, and prudence, by Agnolo Gaddi. Their blue enameled background is the work of Leonardo, a monk, while the golden stars were painted by Lorenzo de Bicci. The vault, composed of semicircles, was done by Florentine Antonio de Pucci. On the steps of the loggia are the Medici lions, two marzocchos, marble statues of lions, heretic symbols of Florence. That on the right is from Roman times, and one on the left is committed by Flaminio Vacca in 1598. It was originally placed in the Villa Medici in Rome, but found its final place in the loggia in 1789. They're just talking about the sculptures. On the side of the loggia there's a Latin inscription from 1750 commemorating the change of the Florentine calendar in 1749 to bring it into line with the Roman calendar. The Florentine calendar began on the 25th of March instead of the 1st of January. Other inscriptions from 1893 records the Florentines who distinguished themselves during their annexation of Milan, Venice, and Rome to the Kingdom of Italy. Okay. So all of that is after the time of the game. So you see how the loggia in the game is empty, whereas it's filled with statues today, right? So all these statues are from later. Underneath the bay on the far left is a bronze statue of Perseus by Benvenuto Cellini. It shows the mythical Greek hero holding his sword in his right hand and holding up Medusa's decapitated head in his left. The well-proportioned muscular body of Perseus stands poised on the right leg. Perseus is reflecting, and he seems to be frightened by his same action. Blood is gushing from the head and neck of the dead Medusa. Ew. The richly decorated marble pedestal, also by Cellini, shows four graceful bronze statues of Jupiter, Mercurius, Minerva, and Danae. The best relief on the pedestal representing Perseus freeing Andromeda is a copy of the one in Bargello. I don't know, this is the statuary. I'm not going to read about the statues, alright? Because the statues aren't in the game. Okay, well that's the end of the article, if we don't read about the statues. So it's basically like a porch where public ceremonies took place during, well, throughout the history of Florence, I guess. So the Uffizi is here, or it will be built here later on. The Uffizi, like there. It's quite impressive. It's not there yet because it was built later, and it shouldn't be in the game, right? All right. So